Hello, we welcome you to this series of video lectures titled R Language Primer. R language was introduced primarily for statistical and graphical applications. It was developed by Ross Ikaha and Robert Gentleman of the University of Auckland, New Zealand. There is an equivalent language from the Bell Labs developed by John Chambers and his associates, which is labeled as S. R and S are almost similar, but there are some important differences in R. However, any script written for S will run without modification in the R language environment. R is used by statistical programmers, software programmers, data miners, and graphical trend analysts to identify and process large amounts of data and trends. R is available under the GNU General Public License, making it free for use to a large number of people who cannot afford paid software packages. R is pre-compiled for different operating systems like Linux, Windows, and Mac. R, being an interpreted language, makes it very easy for software development because the code can be run and the output can be seen side by side in the RStudio, which is the integrated development environment for R. It's called the IDE. R also allows integration with procedures written in C, C++, .NET, Python, or Fortran, which will be linked during the compile time. A student of R would find it very easy if he or she had a computer programming exposure. Even a basic HTML code would be sufficient, and a working idea of graphs and statistics. However, we would like to stress that this course can be taken up by those who do not have such exposure, who will work along with us to understand the various examples. I am sure we can convert all of you into professional R programmers. The agenda for the entire series of video lectures is shown on your screen. We have the basic syntax, which covers the structure of the language, all the various data types, variables, where you have various types of variables which store objects, lists, integers, real numbers, characters, strings. We have the operators which cover the arithmetic, logic, decision making, relational and Boolean operators. We also have the if conditions, which are the decision making loops. We have the functions, which are repeated code which can be stored once and reused again and again. We have the data structures, strings, vectors, lists, matrices, arrays, factors, and data frames. We also have packages, which is a collection of the functions. R is also used for data cleansing, particularly when large unstructured data has to be brought into a structured format. R uses or can read and process a variety of file types, which is the CSV, the Excel files, binary files, XML, JSON, JavaScript files, web data, databases, and graphs. Graphs can also be stored as PDF files or as soft copies, which can be processed. There are many types of graphs which R produces. Some of the graphs are for identifying outliers and exceptions. Some of them are for statistical observations and measurements. Some of them will give us future predictions, forecasting. Some of them will also help us to analyze data across time or across different industries or different entities. And then we have the pattern analysis, which includes the random forest and chi-square tests. Before we start going into the R programming syntax and structures, we would like each one of you to install R on your computers. We are given the steps one below the other in the screen in front of you. The software for R has to be taken from the site called CRAN, C-R-A-N, from the project r-project.org. Apart from installing the R console, we strongly recommend you install the R Studio, which is an integrated development environment for the R language. Makes it easy for developers. And we also suggest to install the SDS Foundation, which contains a huge quantity of sample data to be used during the running of these various examples and programs. Now we go ahead and see the recording of how the installation is to be done. You go to the site which is shown in your screen. You press enter and you will get the screen which you see in front of you. There are various operating system options available. You can do this for Windows, Linux and Mac as we mentioned earlier. In our example, we are choosing the Windows option and we are downloading the installation file. You can have single document interface or multi-document interface. The single document interface will open a new window with a new menu bar for each window we have opened. In the multiple document interface, multiple windows can have a single menu bar. Coming back to our screens, once we have downloaded, then we accept the license agreement, then the installation takes place. We finish the installation and then we have to start the R. On the screen in front of you, you can see there's an icon on the desktop. The blue arrow indicates that icon. You double click on the icon and the R console opens up. The R console is also visible on the screen in front of you. We will work out a small program with just 2 lines in it, which says a string variable will store the words hello and world enclosed in double quotes. Anything enclosed in double quotes is a string. Then we print that variable and then we should get the contents of the string on the screen. A variable is a memory location or some storage place in the memory where whatever we have assigned will be stored there. We can retrieve it at a later stage. The syntax for assignment is a less than and a hyphen symbol. If we have stored this file as a script file, we have to use the extension .r. For example, we can name this file as myfirstprogram.r or test.r, and we have to run the program which we have saved with the help of an interpreter called R script. Okay, now to run this program, we need to type these commands. My first R program, my string less than equal, that's the hello world in double quotes, and print my string, which will output the string. The script at the command prompt would look the way we have shown it there, R script test.r. The output will be the content of the string hello world. Now when you have a program and you wish to add comments, these are just small explanatory notes for the programmer or for those who are using the programs. The lines start with a hash symbol, which means that that line will not be considered by the interpreter for translation. Such lines are called comment lines and add clarity to the code in the form of explanatory text. Okay, there are what are called multi-line comments. Actually, we can have normal multi-line comments, but each line has to start with a hash symbol. Or if we have a large chunk of code which is an explanation to the code, or we have a large chunk of code which we want to disable for the execution, then we'll choose if, and within brackets the word false in uppercase. False is typically the value 0, and this is known as a Boolean variable. The syntax being if false, and the statement to be ignored would be in double quotes. For example, you see there if false. This is a demo for multi-line comment and should be enclosed in either simple or double quotes. That is single or double quotes. And please remember that this is just the beginning. You have completed your lesson 1. You need to also try out the RStudio.
You can contact us at datumscientia@gmail.com. Thank you.